In this video today, I'm going to be going on Depop and taking a look at some of the stores that are represented on the platform and see what they could do to improve. We will go onto the homepage of Depop and we will take a little look at where we can go. Now, I definitely want to get into some of the sellers, but I think the only way to find sellers is going to be by just browsing the website. One of my new searches is Nike, so the first thing that's just caught my attention is this. Let's go on that. I quite like the use of the rug. Interesting photo. I don't think this is a sort of seller by, they've actually sold a few. Because the whole angle thing makes me feel super skew-if, but have sold all the items. This looks like a seller. The Midlands Vintage. Somebody on my doorstep. Let's have a little look at this page. Let's see what we can find out. So, shop sustainably, free postage, nice. Wait, how much? £100. £100. All due respect, the Major League Baseball and Nike stock and vintage stuff is always well sought after, and it's a very expensive sort of item. But it always shocks me. I never in my time charged £100 for items like that. Crazy to see them on the market at that price. Let's have a little look at what we've got. Nice use of 4 varied titles there. A lot of information. No need to ask for availability. Please just buy. I quite like the aesthetic. I think that personally, I would probably not use a photo with your link in the first photo. I don't think that looks very smart when you see it like hundreds and hundreds of times. But I understand the route of like advertising yourself. This stone background is a lot better and it looks a lot more natural in the light. Let's have a little look at the feedback, because feedback's always a good indicator, because realistically I can have an opinion, but if someone's got good feedback, that is case in point. Let's have a little look. Great seller, great, good condition. Yeah, all 5 stars. This is obviously a good seller on Depop. Yeah, this new route of lighting is a lot better than this blue one, that's for sure. I think the issue is when you use different colour backgrounds on items, it has to be super susceptible to what the coloured item actually is. To see blue on an off blue background is like putting a black sweatshirt on a grey background. It's just going to be washed out within it. Oh, that's just a front picture. Okay, that's interesting, because these photos are probably a bit better on the selling route than that, if I'm being honest. Cool seller, Midlands, big up to the Midlands. Let's go back to basic. Let's have a little look at this. Let's see if I can find the first person who's definitely a reseller. That is on a bed. This person's definitely a reseller. This female must be a reseller. You can always tell by how many is sold. 13,000. And is that a video as well being used? Smart. Using a video on Depop is exactly what ASOS used to do, and that's what they were very famous for before, were using the videos. Is that standing on a sofa? I mean, the background and everything looks amazing. The look, the fit, everything looks really cool. I probably just wouldn't stand on a sofa, but I suppose that's a minor flaw, minor detail. I love it when people have an Instagram. Let's see the following on Instagram. Does it convert from Depop? 63,000 on Depop to 38. It's always interesting when people have a Instagram page but don't use it. It's good to have multiple ways to advertise your brand. Maybe it's just been made. Either way, this is fire. Interesting when people cut out their face, and I get that. I can imagine it's the girl that's wearing the clothes that is the brand. It would only be somebody that runs the brand themselves that would want to cut the face out. The reason why people cut their faces out is because it doesn't distract you from what you're looking at. I think you can look at this on a model without being distracted too much by the model because there's no face. Let's have a little look back. She looks great. The intention of this isn't to try and find people that look bad. It's just, I thought that it'd be quite fun to have a browse on Depop. Oh, this is definitely a seller. £21 for a Puma jacket. Let's have a little look though. Krog Hands Clothing. I'm not firing shots off the bat. I understand taking a close-up photo of the item there. However, personally for me, when I was in the prime of taking photos and if I was going on trying to get sales, I would make sure that the items are steamed. The presentation through that aesthetic really helps, not only selling it, but being able to like justify the price you're charging. I find that when people charge a premium price, but their product doesn't look premium, it negates that ability to even charge it. Let's have a look at streetwear, because streetwear is definitely a popular trend at the moment. There's a lot of people that clearly aren't. I mean, wow. I'm not going to fire any shots at people that aren't resellers, because if you're not a reseller, you're not trying to make things look good. But I just tell you right now, that doesn't look good. In fact, I'm bored of streetwear. Let's go off to another one. Now, this one looks like it could be a reseller. I quite like this. I'm going to get into this. Who's this? Lost Paradise. Well, who would have thought? Lost Paradise, you might even be watching this video and somehow we are on your page. One point of focus, what I like about this, is a brand that used to be in Leicester called Wellgosh did, and it's actually something that I take inspo from as well, is this raised material movement aesthetic where the item looks like it's moving. It doesn't look static. And I think that this approach definitely goes against when people have it all neat. That is actually an aesthetic that I would prefer for me. Some things that I would have probably made a note of to just be aware of is that there's definitely a fine line between a look of an aesthetic of movement and it looking unprepared. To play devil's advocate, things like this that we look at, like here, it can sometimes create an issue where people feel like they can't see the true look of the item. This is actually on borderline of what an aesthetic is though. Be mindful of where the movement of the shot can look a little bit potentially like it's just messy and unprepared. As if we found you, Lost Paradise. Let's go back though. That caught my eye. So that's a good thing. These don't look good. Trusted seller, only legit items. Nice. That looks terrible. That should not be on a hanger like that. A lot of the people that sell on Depop might be a mixture of ages. Photography isn't always people's strong point, but it is definitely the easiest one to understand so you can learn to be better. I didn't know the intention of this video, but I'm having fun looking through it. Ooh. Are you a reseller? The item caught my attention. Again, what Paradise did was probably more in line with what is a successful aesthetic. This does look a little bit scruffy. Holy mackerels, is that a big bleach mark? If you are enjoying this video, please feel free to put a thumbs up and that will let me know that you want me to do more of these videos. Ooh, what's this one? Now this is probably your average side hustle seller. Now these are the people that are going to be definitely affected with this new tax that might think twice about it. But I can tell that this is a side hustle seller. That's cool. Things like this look wicked as standalone pictures, like with editorials. I do think that with photography, one of the main things you want to work on is a streamline of consistency, because if you are being consistent with your imagery, then you are just in general being consistent and it is a better association of people that see you. KSN Clothes, 11,000 sales. Talk your stuff, my dude. Look at all these sold items. Big up. Some really cool pieces. Why can I see that? Is that an intentional thing? Maybe it is. Who am I to sort of make an opinion on a guy that's doing this when he might do this intentionally? But for me, looking on the outside, I would probably cut that out. However, if nobody else does it, then he's standing out. So we kind of go back to back on this one. Look how many feedbacks he's had. So 5-starred up. No bad feedbacks. Look at all them 5 stars. Fairs. Who is this? This is Billy's Retro. 40,000 items sold. 40,000 items is a couple as well. That's not a light amount. Let's have a little look at what they put in the description. You know, I made a video recently about like the importance of information to put in, and I think information like this is really helpful to give people a good understanding of how things are going to fit without them having to ask you too many questions. 11,000 feedback. That's some serious. Usually I have no troubles with this seller, but my last purchase I was left disappointed. Purchased 2 items and only received 1. The seller never replied to my inquiry about the missing item and didn't even reply once it was disputed. Unfortunately, after a good year or 2 of purchasing from Billy's Retro, I will not be using them again. I always find feedbacks quite interesting as well, because you think this is a guy who's got all these ooh, item came dirty and I ordered 2 items, only received 1. Wait. Billy, is this a theme? I hope not. I mean, accidents happen and human error is a real thing. I will preach it, but missing an item out, not a good look, my dude. This is really clean. I think this background's really nice. That's exactly what you want to go for. You want to go for standing out on the imagery. Like, that sits very nice. That caught my attention. That's why I clicked it. Like, that wouldn't catch my attention as much. I can't say anything on that. What is that? Shouts to Rag Kid. Whoa. The issue I've got with this sort of image, this is just personal preference. One thing that I think doesn't sit so nicely is backgrounds like this. The background itself, no offense, is quite ugly. And the reason why I say that is because it offers a light and dark option on the same background. So I'm looking at this item and my mind psychologically is unsure of knowing whether this looks light or dark. You might say, what waffle is that? But look, I know that's grey because that is a light item. That, it's almost muted, it's dissolved into the colour, and the background's not really helping it. The light background is not reinforcing it because it's just two different colours. We've sold almost 2k items, so I can't say too much. I can say too much though, but not for me, man. Let's have a little look. Vintage Club, I've heard of them. Now, 10,000 sales, 4.5 stars. Wow, that's not a great start. It said it was a large, but actually a kid size large. Not true to size and can't even fit on me. Not great when that happens, I must say. Stated this is a women's extra large, but it's genuinely meant for a child. Second child issue, not ideal in the day. 3 1 stars in a day. Can I just say, it doesn't matter how many you're selling, it doesn't matter how much work mode you're getting. One of the main things you have to understand when you scale up the selling is maintaining a good level of customer service with the people that buy from you. You're clearly getting sales, and I've heard of Vintage Club because you've got a website and I'm pretty sure I know about you anyway. That was really interesting. You know what? I'm gonna leave that as it is. That was me undergoing some, let's just get the screen nice and bright. That was me reviewing Depop stores. If you want me to review your Depop store, if you want me to take a look at it and give you some feedback a little bit more extensive, drop a comment with your @ and I will take a look at that. Honestly, as always, I really appreciate you. If you want to check out any of these videos on the screen right now, I have lots of videos. I upload them every day. This one's actually pretty good, and that one is even gooder. So yeah, big love, guys. As always, stay safe, stay sustainable, stay gully, stay you, and yeah, do your own thing. Keep it original. Big up.